Are we ready then? Okay, so this is the recap for our Tango in a Day workshop number 5 on the 5th of October 2019. So this workshop covered the essentials of tango, Vals and Milonga rhythms, and looked and contrasted all of them together, and also contrasted different styles of tango and the differences in musical styles as well. So we start off with a generic tango posture with a feet in a slight V shape, heels comfortably together, slight flex in the knee, lean forward so we can form an A-frame when we dance together. We talked about the embrace as either close where we have contact in the chest area and as open when there's space in between us. No matter what we do, the general principles stay the same. So my right hand as a leader comes around and rests as far around my follower's back as is comfortable, and my left hand has enough tone in it to keep it in position and is in the middle of the embrace. The follower's right hand rests on top of my left hand, and the follower's left hand comes around and rests as far around my back as is comfortable. As far as head is concerned, I look over my follower's right shoulder, and a follower can either look over my left shoulder or slightly incline their head to look at my chest. We did talk about the different embraces, so we can go Milonga style embrace, in which case we're much more upright, we're leaning on each other, so people call this a shared access. Effectively this means we are supporting each other, or we can even go into a Tango embrace where we're at an L shape, more hunched in the knees, more bend. Again, we are leaning on each other, but the embrace has changed to L shape, so we can have the knees moving. Incidentally, we discussed the Milonga style of tango is for dancing in small spaces, and pivoting doesn't work throughout it. We discussed the ideas of the lead and follower and how the connection works in tango. So connection is purely the way we communicate between each other. So as I move my chest, the follower's free leg will move. So if I move my chest forward, that follower's free leg will move backwards, allowing me to step into the space. And we talked about how our feet should be moving with the inside ball of the foot in contact with the floor. Followers Argentine tango shoes, like Alison is wearing, will actually put you into that sort of position anyway. We talked about the general walk, so walking on the feet, and how in tango music, or when we dance to tango music, we don't have to follow strict rhythms. We can listen to melodies or rhythms or bass lines and choose what we want to follow in that. So we can change the speed of our walk, so we can speed it up, slow it down, take bigger side steps, smaller side steps of different sizes, and really create dynamic. We also had a look at outside walk, so from a side step to the left, I angle my chest towards my follower because we're trying to keep this is where the information is coming from our chest, so having our chests facing each other is important, and we can walk outside and then come back inside, and again with all these variations of side steps and speed. We then took this into looking at pivots or ochos. So from a side step to the left, if I twist my follower around so she's at 90 degrees to me, I can change weight, and the follower doesn't do anything, she'll just stay on the foot where her weight was originally put, which in this case is her right, but she's pivoted around on it. Now if I take a side step to my left, the follower will step forward. The follower is always going back in front of my leader's chest, so as I twist my chest away from my follower to pivot her around, she's trying to come back around in front, so she pivots. I can take a side step to the other side, again we've got changes of size and speed. And to aid her coming around, she's arching her foot through, which creates a torsion through her body, which allows her to pivot smoothly. She's always collecting her feet for every opportunity. We took this into plinea, so as I take a side step, I lunge down very slightly, so I sink into my left knee, and now the follower leaves her foot trailing, and as it sweeps around, it creates this, as I say, sweep. If I bring my foot into contact with it, so I leave my foot there, she will get a shoe shine, so she can come up and shine a shoe on me. And again, I can take her out into ochos. I can do this on either side. And if I bring her around and put my right foot, my left foot close to the follower's left foot, and bring her up, I can get a leg band. I can take this back through around, so lifting my chest, the foot will follow my chest, come up, twisting back towards my right, and stepping onto my right foot, putting my leg into the follower's leg, and we can get up into this little castrigada layer, and then we can take her through. We discussed that tango music has this 4/4 rhythm and is fairly slow tempo throughout, and this is what tango is generally danced to. We discussed the differences between what's known as traditional tango, which was music written in between 20s and 50s. People have disagreements about what it is, but that seems to be the general argument for it, and how it was written to a tango form of 2-bar sections or 8 beats phrases, with general instruments being the piano, the bandolion or bandolion, violins, although there is a form of tango which is earlier than that, and the original tango bands or the authentic tango bands were consisted of flute, violin and guitar. So tango music has developed and evolved, and there's also what's known as nuevo tango music, which took the tango form and stretched it, took elements of tango music and then made it different. So this is what Piazzolla did, and then in the 80s and 90s more electronic tango music came, so it was tango music but remixed new instruments. There was a change of it. And there's also alternative tango music, which is dancing to music which wasn't written to tango but can be tango too. We've also, within tango music, there is 3 rhythms which are prevalent. So you have the tango, which is the 4/4 rhythm. You also have the Vals rhythm, which is normally in the compound time of 3/8, 6/8, 9/8, and 12/8. I know technically 3/8 is not a compound time, but for this sense of argument, it says it has a rotational feel. So in workshop number 3, we looked at Vals and how to add rotation into our dancing. So we start off with Medellin, so a side step to the left, a step outside with the right, and then I'm bringing my follower around me into a side step, so I'm twisting my chest to the left. My follower is moving around me and pivoting as she does in the art show, and I can walk out, and this is a Medellin, and I do one to get back into the line of dance, because tango is danced anti-clockwise around the floor in what's known as a rondo. We then took this into a hero, so as she comes back in front, I can lead it into another side step, I can take it into a forward step, another side step, and we've discussed whenever we do a forward step, we can try and take in the followers your back step, so if I pivot her backwards, we can make the follower turn around in a hero, also style gyro, which means I turn. We then looked at a sort of linear inline travelling turn, which went something like this. So we took a side step to the left, step forward on the right foot, turn to face the follower with a side step, then step back and out the way of the follower. The follower is now walking around me, and I can walk out in the line of dance, so we can make this travel. Finally, we looked at Milonga. So Milonga is another one of these different rhythms. It's normally faster paced. It's normally written in the time of 2/4, although some are written in 4/4 times as well. It's much faster. It has more syncopation in the rhythms of it. So we discussed the difference between Milonga Lisa, which is straight timing of stepping on every beat, and Milonga Trassi, which has half-time feelings. So we start off with a basic box of stepping forward, stepping outside the follower, stepping back in line, taking a small side step to the side, and doing a basic box pattern. We discussed how this was related to the Chenyenge, which is the authentic form of tango, which was danced sideways down the floor, also with a very similar box pattern to it. So, from this box pattern we added in some traspes, so whenever we looked at doing a side step we could do a half step. So it looks like we're going to take a step, take the follower halfway and bring her back, and we've got different combinations, and we can do it on either side. We can even do it on front steps. From this front step outside, we looked at sinking it down and rocking the weight forward and backwards, and even turning it. We can add little decorations in, so you can do little flicks. I can even go forward and back as I do this, and then it turns more into something from samba, but it's still perfectly acceptable to do in Milonga. We looked at more options from the side step, so if I went to the side, I can lead her into a series of side steps. We can speed this up and do little shuffle rhythms to emphasise the timing in the music. And finally, we looked at doing a series of jumps. So we've built up to this by taking a side step, twisting our check follower, stable back steps behind. As we build the momentum up, we can sink down lower. As we come up, we can get a little bit of lift, and we can do little jumps. And that was the main part or the main series of workshops. Something I'm going to tell you now. So, as we said, tango is danced socially in Milongas. We discussed the ideas of tandas and cortinas and how the music was arranged. And we will tell you about how to ask people to dance. So there's different ways of asking people to dance in tango. The way that it was done was by in many Milongas, was by something called the cabeceo. So in Buenos Aires in the 30s and 40s, it wasn't considered socially acceptable for single women to speak to single men, only for couples to interact with each other. So when you went into a Milonga, the host or the hostess would take the single females, single followers, and line them on one side of the room, and the single leaders onto the other side of the room, and the two other sides were filled with couples. So if to get around this idea that you couldn't actually talk to each other, to ask people to dance, you would ask them to do the dance by the cabeceo. So you would look across the room, the person you wanted to dance, they would make eye contact. If she nodded, it would mean yes, she wanted to dance with you. And when the cortina came on, you would then approach your follower, she would get up, and you would then dance. There were different ways of doing cabeceo, so there is even reports of people having to do a pre-cabeceo before they could actually do a cabeceo, but there are obviously other ways of asking people to dance. So you could just go up to them, offer your hand, or you could just say, would you like to have a dance? All is perfectly acceptable in Milongas. There are some, of course, which will stipulate rules about which ones you're allowed to use. But that was the general recap of this Tango in a Day course. Thank you for watching this Urban Tango Nights recap. If you like these videos, please subscribe to our channel by clicking the logo. You can find more of our class summaries down here and other videos of us dancing tango over here. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Meetup. Links are in the description below, and you can also subscribe to our newsletter using the link below.